All right, welcome to episode 90 of the Brunch Ladies of Conshy Consignment. We have some special guests here today. We have Diane and Jennifer and Ryan. And Ryan is with the Blind Center of Nevada, and Diane and Jennifer are with the fearLESS Living Fund. So we're just really excited. To put this in perspective, we are running a Conshy Connects event. This is our first annual one for the fearLESS Living Fund. So we are going out of our way to make sure this is uber successful, and we bring in as many people and promote this as much as possible. Now, this video we will be referencing back in the years to come, because when I said annual, this is going to be an annual event, Conshy Connects, for fearLESS Living Fund. So for years to come, we will be referring back to this video in our first quarter when we do this. So no pressure, guys. I just want to set the stage, because that annual piece of it, since this is our first year doing it for fearLESS, I just want to put that out there, that this is going to grow year over year, and we are absolutely committed to that. So Diane and Jennifer, why don't you jump in and tell us a little bit about why fearLESS?
Well, I think it started with Jen. It's kind of her fault. She is my motivational person. And she told me one year we had to pick a word of the year. And so she picked delight, and I picked fearless. And I didn't mean fearless like, jumping off a bridge or something. I meant fearless, like this is separated. And I think we were in the pandemic at the time, Jen.
Yeah.
And I didn't go out. So it was that following year. And because I had a compromised immune system, I never went anywhere through the whole pandemic. And so I chose, I needed to go back out into the world. Everybody needed to go back out into the world. And I just didn't know how to do that. So that's why I chose that word. And then when I went to the Boss Reseller Remix and met Ryan and the wonderful people there and all the beautiful work that they were doing, and saw how, I have really no problems, right? Because like they go through the day without being able to see anything. They navigate their phone, they navigate their computer, they navigate a world that's unsafe. And so the word fearless just came, we just kept it going. And my granddaughter, Riley, we were all trying to think of names, and she came up with that one.
Well, we should back up a little bit. So yeah. I think it was 2021 when you came up with your word of the year, fearless. And then at the beginning of 2022, you felt like that you weren't really done with the word yet, and that you wanted to sort of continue with that. But in the midst of that, you were diagnosed with lung cancer. And then that's sort of where the fund fits into this. Do you want to talk a little bit about that too?
No, you can.
Okay.
So and Jennifer, I want to back you up even further to tell people before you start with this, what is your relation to Diane? How does this relationship fit in?
Yeah. So I've known Diane for 42 years because she's my mom. And as you can tell, she's my best friend too. We do a lot together. We share a lot together. And so for the year that we came up with the word of the year, we were checking in on weekly goals and stuff like that. So we're always kind of trying new things and doing different adventures together. And so that didn't really stop. When Mom was diagnosed with lung cancer, obviously that was a huge shock for all of us. And there's been a million ups and downs since then. But one of the most wonderful things was the idea that Mom came up with for this fearless living fund to fund more programs and more services for the clientele at the Blind Center of Nevada. Like she said, she went there. The Boss Reseller Remix event is hosted there every year in the fall. And so that's how she got to know the Blind Center and went on. Well, actually, you didn't do a tour when you were there with the Blind Center, right, Mom? But you had met so many of the people and
No, I did a smaller tour, Ryan, because I didn't get a tour the first year because I was busy doing registration. Ryan came in this year and said, you know, I said to him, hey, look it, I need a tour this year. I missed it last year. And he's like, I'm going to give you a private tour. Don't worry. Well, my private
took
tour.
me down. Give me a tour.
I need the tour. See?
Yeah, I mean, we did the tour, and I have to say, like, I cried the whole, like, honestly, from start to finish. I was just so touched and so blown away and moved by everything that you are doing there at the Blind Center. And
it's amazing. And Libby, you weren't the only one that cried. Everybody, I think, was crying. Even Ryan, who kept saying,
yeah.
Ryan always cries.
It's typically not meant for that to happen, but when you start talking about, you know, people and how they overcome all these obstacles, and then when you're watching these individuals on the tour that are feeling it and understanding, wow, my life isn't that bad, even if it isn't, right? Or even the challenges that I go through aren't as severe as somebody else's, and I can see what I'm doing, or I can see how people are reacting to me, or pick up on all these social cues and everything else that you go through life, and they can't see anything, but yet they're still thriving. They're still progressing towards making their lives better, or even just having a enriching life, right? And coming to the Blind Center and taking part in the programs, or some of the social aspect of things, because most people don't know that being blind sometimes is very reclusive too. You know, I mean, you don't have the luxury of just getting in your car and driving to the movie theater, or driving to the mall, or going to all these different places without some sort of assistance, right? And so you either got to get an Uber driver, and that racks up money, right? Or you got to wait for a bus and schedule that. And those things do have an impact on people's mental state, right? Because you're trapped in your head, right? And you're trapped with all this stimulation going on around you, from people's voices to external noises and all this, and you don't know what's going on. But they found a way to say, look, that my sight isn't going to limit me to, or my lack of sight, right, is going to limit me to being stuck on a couch all day, right? And you know, that's part of what the Blind Center provides, is that opportunity to reach out and get services. And see, every time it starts to muster up when you think about it, right? Because you know, it's impressive that they say, look, I'm not going to just sit home and do nothing. I'm going to make something out of my life, regardless if I can see or not. And so it's a special place. And we really enjoy when people come to hear about our mission, because, you know, besides the electronics and besides all the things that people see on the outside, inside there's real magic happening, right? And there's real lives being transformed. So it's a cool thing. The goal is never to make anybody cry. It's just,
and back to Jen's point, we went on a tour, but we got an abbreviated tour because Ryan couldn't take you through, like, it would take too long to do the tour that he did for us. But Jen, you can tell what impressed you about that.
Yeah, so I mean, we knew when we went for our visit this past December as a family, you know, we were just prepared to be in awe of this place, because every time Mom has come home from these events talking about it and talking about the people that she's met and all the cool things that happen there, like, we knew that it was going to be cool, but we definitely didn't really get it until we got there. Ryan can probably talk about this afterwards, but like, I didn't fully understand that, like, the majority of the members at their center are living well below the poverty line, that all of the barriers that Ryan just talked about, and then more, are things that these people are dealing with every day. So the incredible things that impressed me on the tour were, like, one, the basics of folks get all of the help they need to deal with their computer and their phones and all of the tech that you really need to just sort of exist in this world, and that are so much more challenging if you don't have your sight. They also learn skills like working in the eBay store, or cooking, or doing other different things like that, which is amazing. But then even to see, like, all of sort of the way that they both foster community and their clients' interest in the arts. So there's like a music room, and I think there was pottery and weaving and all sorts of different ways that people could express themselves and do activities with others and be creative. Like I just can't imagine what it would be like as a blind person, really feeling like isolated and on your own, to come into a world, into a community that really just embraces you. You could feel the love and all the, like, the friendship and the community as soon as you walk in that door. And then watching people actually playing guitar and doing their different things and just the joy that it brings them. It was incredible.
I sang with the choir.
Yeah.
I didn't know you sang.
They were having choir practice when we went.
We interrupted everywhere we went on the tour. We interrupted something, but it was cool because we got to really show, like, hey, we're not just talking about this stuff. There's people actually doing these things every day, right? And they're taking part in, like I said, their personal growth, whether it just be recreational for them to get some stimulation, or if it is in our employment side of things where they're working towards their own financial freedom, right? Or at least comfortability, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, so take us on an abbreviated tour. Let's see if you can do this, since we don't have our eyes.
Okay, so this will be tough.
We don't have our eyes to be able to see that, but can you take us on an abbreviated tour as you did for us? Yeah, so we'll backtrack from the minute you walk in the door, right? So the minute you walk in, you'll meet a gentleman named Havander. And he's a blind individual as well. And he's our receptionist. And I'm telling you, if you haven't met him, his personality is tip top, right? I mean, he can be so inviting and not even see who walked in the door immediately, right? And it's amazing because, he may hear the sliding doors open, but know somebody's there, and then point them or get in contact with who that individual is there for. And so you have that interaction with him, and you already can feel that, whoa, wait, this guy's blind and he's at the front desk. I wasn't expecting that. Havander needs to do training for a lot of receptionists, because that feeling when you walk in most buildings does not exist. I think that is, sorry, I just had to say, totally outperforming most receptionists I have ever come in contact with.
And he is, sometimes I feel like, hey, Vander, hold my calls, please, because you're sending too many back to me. But he's got the skills down. He's so involved with more than just that too. But at the same time, he's a good representation of what we're trying to do at the Blind Center, right? Which is give people opportunities to be themselves, to not only earn a paycheck, but he didn't start out as being our receptionist. He started out as coming here to take part in our services and our programs. And he wanted something more. And so we always knew he was good and articulate and could, it was very friendly to people. And so we said, let's give him a try there, right? And as soon as you walk in the door, like I said, you feel it, you understand, like, wait a second. Okay, this guy's blind. And he welcomed me, like you said, better than most people and other businesses that pay, quite a bit of money for those receptionists in the beginning, or they got to have a certain look and all this other stuff to kind of meet this image, right? And at the same time, he truly embodies everything that we try to show everybody that we do for these blind individuals, right? And so you walk in, right? And so after that, and let's say he calls me up and he says, hey, you got some people here for a tour. The first thing we do is we'll take you to the back where we have our electronics business, right? So once we get back there, that's where we have majority of our employed blind individuals. And so when they walk back there, or when you come back there, you'll start to get more of that vibe that I was talking about, where you see, wait, this isn't just a beautiful building. You actually do things back here that support the cause and the mission that you're working on. And so you walk back and you see blind individuals taking apart computers, right? And so they do it so well. I relate it to a NASCAR pit stop, right? They just zip, 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 done, boom. Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, you have all this stuff that's separated out for our recycling aspect of it, where we do want to be environmentally conscious to the community that we live in as well, right? And so these gentlemen back there who are all totally blind, they start taking everything apart and they separate this aluminum and this metal and this copper and all these other materials that could end up in the landfill or could end up on the street somewhere, right? There's a lot of dumping and things like that that happen, but yeah, and so they're all totally blind, and they do that better than somebody with sight. I've tried, and I can do it, but I can't match their pace, their speed. They've just locked in on the sound, the feel, the repetition of doing it, and have, like I said, worked to get themselves or have a better life for themselves, right? And so earning their own paycheck and supporting their own families. Most of them back there do have kids as well, and they have wives, and they support them, right? And so you think about that and you go, man, these guys come into work every day, and they bust their tails doing the job that they're asked to do and go above and beyond on that. And then they still have to go home and take care of their kids and take care of their families and provide for them as well, right? And so to me it's very touching, because not only do they go through all that, right, but they're also working to provide the resource and the revenue we need to have those programs that we have, like the culinary arts and the arts and crafts and the music departments and all the field trips that they go on, and the computer class that we have as well, which, by the way, one of them, Cristobal, who is in our dismantle department, also teaches that class, right? And so if you're newly blind, or maybe you were blind already and you didn't have the skills to use a computer, he teaches that. So it's the blind teaching the blind supporting the blind, and they work hard because they know it's greater than themselves, right? It's more than just a paycheck that they're getting. It's truly helping their community and their peer group to better themselves, right? And to lift each other up and be there in unity to say, look, we know you're blind too, and maybe employment isn't in your future, but we're going to do something we can, or anything we can, right, to provide you something to better your life as well, right? And so it's truly amazing. So once you see all that, and there's where the tears start, because it's truly like, oh my gosh, how, right? Like, you ask yourself, how does this, and I wake up in the morning and I'm a little tired. Wait, I don't know if I should even really care about that. Like, you just kind of keep pushing forward, and that's what they instill in everybody, right? Is that the challenge may be there, right? The obstacle may be there, but just because you can't see it doesn't mean your vision is gone, right? You just find a way to adapt, or you find a way to challenge yourself to say, I'm going to overcome this, right?
Ryan.
And they do, day after day after day.
Ryan, I think also the reason the tears come is because you realize how selfish you are yourself.
Yeah.
And that it's like, I am complaining about having to get up and do a listing or get my stuff ready or do whatever I have to do that day. And I don't have half the challenges that, and I may, like, I mean, granted, I have cancer, but it's still different. Like, I still can see, I still can look at my computer. I still can get up and work my eBay store if I don't feel sick, So I think that's what, like, when you bring us through, and I'm going to describe it like what's behind the curtain, like the Wizard of Oz. You see all my Wizard of Oz back here? It's because people don't we go to there so blessed and so grateful, and we put our own money out to better ourselves to get there, right? And those are the people that get your mission. Like, those are the people that understand, because they're trying to make themselves better. And I want to take that, like the wizard who's behind that curtain, I want to draw that curtain back and show people what you're doing back there. Because if you haven't seen it, just listening to Ryan, I hope you can understand that you need to get involved in this.
Yeah.
I love Danica's comment here. Yes, I realized I was the blind one to what was really happening at the blind center. Yeah, the experience of seeing it. And I do want to mention that Danica is probably one of the most creative individuals I've ever met. So Lady Luck Junk, if you're listening on podcast, go follow her on Instagram. Check out some of the fearLESS videos she's doing. Absolutely inspiring and so incredibly creative. Danica, we were talking about how this is an annual, this Conshy Connects event is going to be annual for the fearLESS living. So I do hope that your creativity with this is annual as well and ongoing, so we can tie that in every year.
Yes.
And the nice thing about this is I haven't asked one of these people to do this.
It is amazing. It really is.
I'm blessed. You're blessed.
It says a lot about who you are. And it says a lot about what Ryan has going at the Blind Center, because we did leave saying we want to do something for the Blind Center, but then what you put together made it that much more meaningful. And okay, we're jumping in and doing this annually, and that has to do with who you are.
Really,
I want to hear a little bit about that gap. So, you know, all these amazing resources that the Blind Center provides, and they provide for themselves. There is a little bit of, I'm going to call it a gap. I don't know if that's the right word, where fearLESS comes in and helps support those missions, but it's not, it's in a different kind of way. And if you could talk a little bit, Diane, about, you know, what that gap was, or where fearLESS comes in to support the Blind Center in a little bit of a different way. Or Jennifer.
Jennifer.
And maybe I didn't phrase it like clearly. I know there was like a gap in, you were worried about it taking away from, you know, government assistance for the Blind Center or for individuals. So it's a little different than, I'm going to say it's filling a gap, but again, rephrase it for me if you have a different way of saying it.
Jen, do you want to, or do you want me?
Why don't you start?
So I think what you're saying is for the housing project that we're trying to support, so that they don't have to live in fear, Nevada Housing is going to supplement part of these rooms, these living spaces. And Ryan probably could speak better to that portion, but I don't think we really have all the details on that stuff yet. But there's going to be some type of certificate program that attaches to each unit so that they will get some money off. So we don't need to like pay for something that's already being paid for us. We want to pay for the difference. So if they only whatever they need to live in that place for 1 year is what we're trying to accomplish for the first year, without taking away any of the government assisted money. Is that right, Jen?
Yeah. So the Blind Center is building a new building to help get some of these unhoused blind people off of the streets, which is incredible. And obviously there's lots of, you know, probably federal and state aid that will assist with those kinds of things. And so, but there will still be expenses that these people will need to pay for that they're not currently, you know, have a stable way to provide. So that's where we'd like this fearLESS Living Fund to step in and support somebody for the year to help sort of bridge that gap.
Yeah, and so just
say a little bit about, back up a little bit about the residential facility that you're working on and that project for people that aren't familiar.
Right. Yeah. So what most people don't know is that about 90% of the members that attend the Blind Center are at the extreme poverty level, right? And about 70% of those individuals are reliant specifically on you know, assistance from the government, right? Or social SSI, right? And so a lot of them go to these neighborhoods where it's not ADA compliant or giving them an opportunity to be in a safe environment, right? Because they have all these challenges. No one's thinking about, do I need to put a handrail here, or do I need to put Braille signage, or do I need to change our sidewalks so that we can walk safely, or have some sort of traffic diversion or anything like that will allow them to have a safe environment, right? And then, as we know, sometimes in those poverty levels, there's also the people that are around as well that are less understanding of those conditions, right? Or their disability, if you want to say. And so we said, okay, well, how do we impact that, right? How do we change that, right? How do we provide resource for them in terms of programs and services and employment? And then also, how can we get them in a safer environment, right? And just a little progress report. We have this cleared out the lot in which the building will be built on, about 100 unit facility where we'll have blind individuals who can, like I said, not only have their social gatherings at the Blind Center, but now they get to go home in a safe environment that has everything that they need, from their kitchen to their rooms to just common walkways and outdoor activities that they can do in a safe environment, right? Without the worry of, is this person going to come here and take advantage of me? Or is this person going to, knock me down? Or do I have to worry about all these external factors that really make it even harder to live, right? And you don't even have to be blind to experience those things, but just imagine it's 100 times worse when you are, right? And so the facility that we're building will hopefully eliminate a lot of that, right? And so we'll start off with 100 individuals or their families, right? So we have 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments that will be there. They'll have, like I said, recreational activities, gyms, pool outside, all kinds of things, right? So that they can get outside and experience. And then it's literally a stone's throw away from the place that they go to during the day and experience that the mission that we're providing for them, right? And the resource that we're providing for them. And it's a really cool thing to see it. Like, I've been taking pictures every week when I see another piece of the old building that was there knocked down or the dirt leveled out, and it starts to motivate me as I come into work every day, and I go, man, this thing's really going. We're really about to change and impact a lot of people's lives in a positive way, and have them feel safe and cared about, and it's truly amazing, right? And so Diane coming in and helping them with that as well, right? Because, like I said, if they lose their Social Security, then most of them are a little bit older, right? And so they can't necessarily just go out to Walmart or somewhere and say, hey, hire me right now, right? Mm-hmm. Or their vision has gotten so bad that the skill set that they had prior to their blindness or earlier on in their life, it's not the same skill set they need for today's world, right? Which is why we do, again, like I said, have the computer classes that help teach them, a little bit more up-to-date skill sets, right? Reselling and things like that on the internet, which kind of is all over the place, right? You don't need to be at a physical location, and those skills are transferable as well, right? To further their career in any way they want to go, right? And so I think the housing is going to be something that's truly not only going to just elevate the Blind Center, but truly let more than just Nevada, but let the world know that there are a lot of people out there like you ladies that care about people, that really want to see, no matter your condition, no matter your disability, no matter your race, creed, whatever it is, right? That we have a good world that we live in, right? You just got to magnify that image more than all the stuff that we deal with now, right? All that negativity and cynicism and all these things that could bring people down. But when you magnify the positive, here we are, right? And now people see the message that, man, there's really people out here that are changing lives. And it does only take one person, right? And then that one person talks to you, and that one person talks to someone else. And next thing you know, we don't have the same issues we have anymore, right? And blind people all around the world are being serviced in a way in which it really takes care of their needs that they have and the challenges that they go through. So that's just step one, right? If anything, you provide them resource, you provide them safety and security in terms of housing and food and all these other things. And they start to prosper and bloom, like a flower. It's almost springtime, right? So I guess that's a perfect analogy for that. But yeah, so.
Well, in order to do these things too, you need money. So
yeah.
We need all of you out there to help, because, you're working hard to earn money for your family, but you can skip a dinner, skip a, trip out to the shopping mall, skip a coffee. Yeah. And you could get enough money to just throw in a handful of it to this cause. That would be great. And it would probably make you feel a little bit better as well. I know this has made me feel a lot better. I'm amazed by the generosity of people. I'm amazed by the kindness of people shaving their heads, which that's what, if you don't know, that's what this Dirty Diane hat is. I don't know if you can see it. I'm not good at this either. So, but I lost my hair, and a bunch of people got together and decided they were all shaving their head too, to raise money for this beautiful program. And then for my birthday, just recently, Ryan did his with his, he almost lost his ears. So he was really.
Yeah.
Should we link up that video of his little girl shaving his head? Oh my God.
If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. It's really awesome. But they
It
all
was
did
like
that.
a month process too, because I didn't have, like, I'm kind of already bald to begin with, so I had to grow something out, because if not, it was just a regular haircut. So I was like, all right, girls.
Dirty Diane's hats, one for growing the hair and to shave, and the second one for actually shaving it.
It was a rough look. I'll tell you that. It was rough. My daughters were like, you should keep growing it, Dad, until you get all your curls back. And I was like, I don't know about that. I think this is
that much.
Brian, I think you should share the behind the scenes of your shaving experience.
Oh, yeah. So everybody was saying that they were naturals at cutting my hair, except for the ear nick. I mean, that was a little different. But prior to that, like, they've never shaved anything. So I gave them like a test sample to work on, and it was my legs. So now I've got smooth, silky, what is it, nair legs? Because I let them take the razor and just shave off my hair off my legs just to get a little bit of practice. Because, you know, you only get one shot at cutting my head, right? You know, they can't like shave it and then go back and glue it back on and retry. It's like one chance. And the last thing I wanted was a gory video for your birthday to just be gushing blood out of my head, because they sliced me so deep that now I got stitches and all kinds of other stuff. So yeah. And they were like, really? We're going to shave your legs? I was like, yeah.
And Ryan, tell people how old your girls are.
They're 7. Yep. I have 2 7-year-old twin daughters. Yeah. So,
Beautiful.
and they're laughing the whole way too. Oh yeah, Dad. Z. And I'm like, I was like, well, get all of it. Just don't leave little strips and stuff. You got to make it look nice.
You had to take a little break there and come back to get that to happen.
Yeah.
But that was so sweet. And what happened because of that was we got a $250 donation from Teresa Cox.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so what we decided to do, because everybody, that's a big ask. I don't think asking all of you to shave your hair is going to really happen. I don't think I would shave it for you either, so don't feel bad. But I think we decided that if anyone donated $250, that's the tax deductible donation, that you would also be a Dirty Diane and you would receive a hat in the mail. Best we can do for you, folks.
All right, so are they still available if we do that on our upcoming fundraising sale?
Correct. Yes. So you just need to let us know.
In there. All right. Awesome.
Yep. And we'll send them a hat.
Awesome.
Love it. Love it.
All right. So what we are going to do, I'm going to wrap this up, but what we are going to do is this coming Thursday and every Q1 going forward, every year, we're going to be doing a Conshy Connects event for the Blind Center and fearLESS Living Fund. So there will be a live sale where 100% of the proceeds go to your fund and subsequently to the Blind Center. And we'll have some really great items that were donated and great prices. We'll have an option for people to do donations. And then all of that, it will run for 48 hours. Check the show notes for the details. We will be publicizing it everywhere this year, everywhere this week, sending everyone the link to share with their friends. And then all year we will have an account for fearLESS Living Fund open. So at any point during the year, there will always be an ongoing account. If you have items, in your inventory, or you just want to make a donation, you are welcome to put that on the account because it will just be running year long. But our big sale is this week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We love to be able to bring you the people that we are doing fundraising for and with, and to hear their stories and what what we're working so hard to do. And
Yeah.
I thank you guys so much for sharing this story. And we're so excited for this first annual Fearless Living events. Any questions? Any last comments?
I do have a last comment. I just wanted to say, Diane, we love you so much. We really do. Your spirit, here it comes. I'm getting choked up, but you've impacted more people than you know, right? And it's just amazing to see the people rally around you, to rally around what you're trying to do for others in what could be considered the worst time of your life, but you've shown everything to everyone that it's not, right? And that you're still living on, and you're going to continue to live on afterwards and touch so many people, even when you're gone. And so I just want to say thank you for being a good friend, for really caring about people, and continuing to inspire people to move forward with their lives and live fearlessly, right? And it truly is amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. That
For
was
sure.
everything I wanted to say, but wasn't articulate enough to do so. Thank you.
I've got the biggest lump right here. I'm trying to suck back down because I know it's going to come. And yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and I forgot to mention that all the money we raise, List Perfectly, is going to go ahead and match it. So anything we raise through this Conshy Connects event is going to be doubled. Yeah. So I should have mentioned that earlier. Yes.
That's so
that's
exciting.
That's pretty cool. So double the fearlessness.
Yeah.
Yes. Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
On
And
Facebook.
we'll be sending out all the links. So share it with your friends. We want to make this as wonderful as possible for you all because you are amazing. And
get your drinks ready, get your tissue ready. We laugh, we cry, we play drinking games, we have fun.
Yep. All right, guys, until next time. Thank you.
See you later.
you.
Bye.
Bye.